everybody, this is Kelly Holland. I am here with Lisa Somerville and we are presenting to you our beautiful backgrounds virtual events. This video is going to feature our Floral and Flourished background dies. So let's get started. First up is the floral background. You could tell the different petals. There's a lot of openings in this. Creates for a lot of dimension. Now I'll show you some card samples. Here's one done with a silver glitter paper along with the Mr. and Mrs. die. This is the shaker card. It was made just using a piece of window sheet behind the die and creating the shaker. Here we have it in a pretty green. The different pierced dots, it just adds a lot of texture. Here it is in a pretty gold. Beautiful stamp. That's in our Holy Spirit stamp set. Gold embossed, heat embossed. This is pretty. Another one with the I am a child stamp. I'm a child of God. That's in our I Believe stamp set. Very colorful. Now I have some landscape cards used along with one of our rectangle frames. This one's also a shaker. Sometimes it's hard to see. Another shaker. You can see it inside there. Beautiful gold. And here we have it in a nice glossy black. Here we have our leaf outline background. You see just the openings, creates a nice leafy pattern. Starting with more of a simpler card. Although there's a lot of detail in here, it gives a nice clean look. Here's one little bit more detail to it, using our beautiful blossoms, paper die duos. This one was cut many times to create some more dimension, using foam tape to pop it up. It's a real pretty one showing the background. Just the background, 3 rectangles and some flowers. Gorgeous. So pretty. This stamp set was released previously in one of our Blessings boxes, but it is available now to purchase separately, along with the beautiful blossoms, paper die duos. Oops, there's that one. This is also a shaker card. That one's just used in the center with one of our other dies layered over the top. Next we have lacy corners. This is a set of 3. We have the background die and the 2 dies in the center. Here it's shown with our cross layering combo die set 2. It's a nice border. This one uses our hugs die and our ornate heart set. Really pretty delicate flourishes. And here we have it with our lily die set. Here we have our vintage flourish pattern, set of 4. We have the outer flourish die, the inside vintage labels, the second vintage label. And then we have a little tag that you can put a little sentiment on there. We have a separate video using the vintage Flourish pattern that we can link down below. Many of our dies coordinate with the vintage Flourish pattern, and Lisa will go over that during our tips and tutorial section of the video. This one shows the vintage labels along with rolled roses. It's pretty, some coordinating dies on it. Some more using the coordinating dies. You can see how the pierced dots really add nice detail to the die. It's a nice space you create using a smaller set of inside dies. Gives you a different look. Here's one being used on a Christmas card. This one uses our cross die set. Makes for a beautiful Easter card. Next we have our Flourish Gatefold card with insert. And I'm showing this because the insert die is a background die. It does coordinate and it comes inside the set, but it can be used by itself to create some beautiful cards. This die coordinates with our Rsvp with layers, where you could add your Rsvp information on here, or you can add it onto the layer and layer it on top. We also have a Rsvp envelope that works with this. And we also have a coordinating Flourish Gatefold belly band. You can see here's the flourishes that coordinate with the other dies. So let me show you some card samples. First, this envelope was created using our A2 envelope die and our ornate hearts, Mr. and Mrs., and beautiful blossoms. I'll take all those out. Here is the Flourish Gatefold card. Take off the belly band. And there you can see the inset die. Just gorgeous. Is that just so pretty? And then it also has a coordinating Rsvp envelope. This one was used to put a gift card in. Made a little pocket with the layer. Here we have a beautiful lilac card. Let me take off the belly band. And you can see they added a stamped image and colored it in for the flourished inset. Here's the matching Rsvp envelope. Here's one done in a very light peach color using one of our heart layering combo dies on top of the belly band. Open it up. And then you have the background die inside. And here's for the Rsvp and the matching Rsvp envelope. This is our Mandela Petal background, which is in a previous blessings box, which will now become available to purchase separately. And I know a lot of people are very excited because they really wanted to get their hands on this one. It's just so pretty. So I'm happy to show it to you. This set, it has 2 dies in it. You have your background petal, and then there's a layering die here in the center. And this one you could pop up, you could just put a verse in the center, all kinds of things. So let me show you some samples. Here we have it with a couple of our rolled roses. We have that die available in rose leaves. Here it is raised up, so the verse in the center, the die cut is inset a little bit. along with some of our butterfly dies. This one's real pretty. It's kind of on a pearlized paper. Not sure you can see that. A little bit of gems. The nice, beautiful verse in the center. Here's a pretty color combo here. Here we have the die cut popped up a little for dimension. Here the verse is heat embossed. This was released with like I said, the blessings box, and he had a bunch of sympathy products in it, so you could just look up the sympathy stamp sets if you like these verses. And here we have it, Mandela Petal Background.
Hi everyone, this is Lisa Somerville. Thank you, Kelly, for sharing those beautiful samples using our Flourish die sets. I'm here to share with you a few additional samples and a couple tutorials. The card samples that I'm going to be showing you first all use the Mandala Petal Background die. This is a set of 2. It contains the background die and the layering die. When using this die, be sure to die cut and emboss following the directions for your die cutting machine. Anytime you see 2 shades of purple on the packaging or the web images, that does indicate that you should emboss your dies for best results. Just like our pierced wedding ring die set that I shared in an earlier video, you can also stencil over the embossed area of the Mandala Petal Background die. You'll simply leave that die cut and embossed cardstock within the die, and then use ink in an ink blending tool to apply ink over the die. The ink will then transfer to the raised areas of the die cut panel. When you die cut and emboss this die, the center of this die cut panel will stay solid. If you die cut and emboss using both of these dies at the same time, the center of the die cut panel will cut open. Now let's create a quick card using the Mandala Petal Background die along with additional Divinity Designs products. In addition to the Mandala Petal Background die, I'm going to be using the A2 Portrait Card Base with Layer die set. This is a set of 2 dies. This die will cut and score your cardstock to create an A2 size card 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2. The layer panel is 4 by 5 1/4. Those are the 2 panels that you see here. I'm also going to be using the matting rectangle. The matting rectangle is approximately 4 1/8 by 5 3/8 and mats the 4 by 5 1/4 rectangle die. The matting rectangle adds a pop of color between the layer panel and the base card. The paper pad I'm going to be using is the Pretty Patterns 3 paper pad. This 6x9 paper pad collection features 30 designer papers, 5 sheets of each design. And I'm also using the following products. The Bitty Blossoms die set. This is a set of 5. Again, be sure to die cut and emboss following the directions for your die cutting machine. Embossing the dies will bring out the detail of the dies. I'm using both the circles and the pierced circles die sets, and also the All Occasions Foiling Die Duo. The All Occasions Foiling Die Duo requires a foil machine and a die cutting machine. The foil machine heats the foil. The die cutting machine presses the foil into the cardstock. The All Occasions Foiling Die Duo set is a set of 2. It contains 1 foiling plate and 1 coordinating die. That way you can foil all of your sentiments at one time and die cut them all at once. If you're looking to create coordinating envelopes for your cards, we do have the A2 envelope die. Please note that this die is an extra large die. A large die cutting machine is needed in order to cut the die. So again, here I have all the pieces I'm going to need to create my card. I die cut the opening in the Mandala Petal Background die. I'm going to adhere that to the pattern paper, to the matting rectangle, and finally to the base card. Now, if you wanted to change the look of your background die, you could die cut the A2 thin pierced frame and add that over this background die. The A2 thin pierced frame completely covers the A2 card panel. I decided to keep the A2 thin pierced frame on this background panel as it will coordinate with the piercing on the pierced circles die set. Now I'm all set to embellish my card. I've die cut and embossed the circles and the pierced circles from cardstock. I'm going to adhere those panels together, apply foam tape to the back side, and then adhere to the center of the card. I then further embellished my card using the Bidding Blossoms die set and the All Occasion Foiling Die Duo set. Next, I'm going to share with you a tutorial using our Flourished Gatefold card with insert die set. Now let's go over the Flourished Gatefold card with insert die set. This is a set of 2. It coordinates with the Rsvp card with layer, Rsvp envelope, and Flourished Gatefold belly band. And the sides are folded. This card measures 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. You have the base die and the insert. The base die will die cut and score for you. Again, be sure to emboss this die to bring out the details of the die and help define the piercing on this die cut. And here's the insert. This measures 4 by 5 1/4. You can adhere this directly to the center of the gatefold card. You can also die cut and emboss the layer panel from the A2 portrait card base with layer, as this is the same size as the insert panel. So that way you can have some decorative color showing through the flourishes at the top of the card. And then you can add that to the base card. You can then use our square die sets to further embellish the bottom of the insert. Here I've die cut and embossed the pink panel using the pierced squares. And then I've die cut and embossed the decorative panel from the Wedding Flowers paper pad using our squares die set. And then you can adhere those to the bottom of the panel. The Rsvp card with layers die set is a set of 2. You have that Flourish Rsvp card, and then you have a layering panel. Again, the Rsvp card coordinates with the Rsvp envelope. It's designed for 3 by 5 cards. This die will die cut and score for you. You can reinforce all the score lines using a bone folder and then fold on all the score lines. You can use a bone folder to reinforce all those tabs. Then you'll apply score tape from the score line to the edge of the large flap. Remove the backing from the score tape and fold the bottom of the envelope towards the top. And here's an additional envelope that was die cut using the Wedding Flowers paper pad collection. Again, to hold these cards closed, you can use our Flourish Gatefold belly band. Here you can see the belly band. It die cut and scores for you. You have the layering panels that you're going to want to die cut and emboss following the directions for your die cutting machine. Again, anytime you see 2 shades of purple on the packaging or the web images, that does indicate that you should emboss your dies for best results. Again, this die set does have a large and a small pierced circle. You can use them together like this. We also have the large and small inset panels. These are decorative panels. To die cut the inset panels, you'll simply place that inset die into the opening of the pierced die, then use removable tape to hold those dies in place, then die cut and emboss following the directions for your die cutting machine. That will create the decorative inset layer that you see here. You can then adhere those to the solid pierced circle, and then you can also adhere that to the larger pierced circle, and then add that to your belly band. To create your belly band, you'll simply fold on the score lines, add a piece of score tape to remove the backing from the score tape, and simply fold down the other end. Then you can embellish using the circles and also the inset circle. And then you can add that belly band to the Flourish Gatefold card to help keep it closed. Thank you again for joining us for our virtual event. For more inspiration using these and additional Divinity Designs products, visit the product pages on our website, like us on Facebook, or follow us on Pinterest and Instagram.